here. Don't do anything crazy. No random shit, okay?
I had my own strategy. I was actually working for you guys. So what I did at the last moment, I just pulled back. So you guys need to buy me some beers.
What is it about riding a bike that is so liberating? What unites us all is the craving for that special feeling. This is what inspired the developers at Garneau to create the innovative, award-winning X-Comfort technology, optimizing comfort to maximize performance and, most of all, the good feelings that make us so passionate about riding. The brand new X-Comfort Zone incorporates an elasticized zone that expands up to 5 millimeters to accommodate B through D+ foot widths. We all pedal in the same way. As you push down, your toes naturally splay. And the dynamic changes that happen inside your shoe as your feet contract and expand under pressure as you ride. The pressure and friction created as the outside of your foot expands over and over against your shoe can create serious and painful hot spots and irritations. The longer you ride, the worse it can become. This makes for a level of never-before experienced comfort in the highest performing cycling footwear. Every cyclist rides for that special feeling that cycling brings to us. Each one of us has our own version of what it means to enjoy the ride. We just help make it possible.
Esports. We love to play. Since the 1980s, video games and competitive gameplay have been part of our Western culture. The video arcade, the Atari, Nintendo, PlayStation, even PC gaming are all part of this rich cultural lineage of play. We play ourselves, we watch, we even compete. What makes an esport? Well, any individual or team game that can be played on a level playing field in competition, whether that's live or online.
Still alive! Charm's gonna land onto him! Is he gonna be able to walk away? Baker is still running! Still damaging him! There's another time! And expression goes down!
While there are half a dozen top-tier esports, more than 100 different titles are being played competitively around the world. Esports break all boundaries. They're played by men and women across cultures and can be played on consoles, PCs, and even mobile devices. Esports are truly a world sport. Over the last decade, we've seen interest, broadcasting, and live events eclipse those of their traditional sport counterparts. Esports are a massive draw. We love to watch them live, and we love to watch them stream. For people under 30, video games are the most popular media industry in the world, more popular than television, music, or movies. But competitive video game play is not just something we do, it's something we watch. In 2016, more people watched the League of Legends Championships than the World Series, the NBA Championships, or the Stanley Cup playoffs. That makes the top 3 sporting events in the World Cup, the Super Bowl, and a video game competition. Esports are the sport of the rising generation. Talented players, broadcasters, and managers are filling every level from professional, now to collegiate, high school, and even Pee-wee. To many, esports is the biggest world they've never heard of. But to millennials, it's the future of competition, of broadcasting, and of sport. But not the distant future, the future of today. This is esports. All right, this is the Women's Elite Finale, CVR World Cup LA. So exciting. Here are your final results for this women's. In first place, Carrie Conabear. Carrie Conabear off the front, more watts than anybody else. You've got to be kidding me. Carrie Conabear, then Beth York, then Jennifer Reel, and oh my goodness, we are going to see a shakeup. In second, Claudia Baring. Unbelievable that this is happening. She's coming up over the top of the group right here. Meisel's trying to close the gap, but now it doesn't look like she's going to do it. Gets out, puts down 400 watts, comes across that line first. Third, Beth York. That may be the surprise of the day. Not surprise in her ability, but managed to stay close enough to the front that her big sprint at the end, and took those points away from Claudia in the previous one in that sprint as well. You know what? Beth is a lot of things, but I didn't know she was a sprinter. And Beth York comes around her, knocks her back, and look at that. Hugs all around. Those of you who are watching on the interwebs, my goodness, you have just been inaugurated, baptized in a sense into what virtual cycling is all about. The hardest video game ever.
Holy smokes! I'm like exhausted just watching this thing. I mean, this is incredible. This is incredible, Chris. That finish was unbelievable.
All right, if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. Hello, everyone. It's Beth York, CVR World Cup semifinals in Zone E. This looks like we've got some great matchups in the postseason. So right now, we'll take a look here. Frank is going to join me in a little bit. And until he does, you are stuck with me. So we have Kim Little facing off with Ossenbrink today. That's going to be one of our matchups here in Zone E in our A bracket. And in B bracket, I think we have another matchup here. We have Madi Bakelny and Steve Fung. So those are going to be a couple races that we are going to stay very tight on. Now, in the postseason, bouncing around between the brackets. We'll be bouncing back and forth to the live stream of the racers themselves. And it's going to be exciting. Some of the most exciting races happen in the postseason for CVR World Cup. And these guys are duking it out and bringing everything they've got. Now we've got about 1 minute left here in the pen before the gate will drop. And it's going to be fast and furious. We have one lap, 25.6 kilometers here on the Greater London Loop Reverse. So we are going to see some opportunities for the packs to break up. We do know that some riders here, looks like we've got some riders here that may be coming out to help their teammates. We'll see how that plays out. And that's one of the really fun things about the postseason is we do see riders come to help their teammates and make it really exciting to watch and take a turn at those team tactics, which are always so fun to watch play out. So we got 20 seconds to go. It'll be interesting. I think if we have a C matchup, I'm not sure if we have one in this, not in this one. So we'll be watching the A and B, Kim Little versus Ossenbrink and Madi Bakelny and Fung. All right, so what's going to happen? Our gate's going to drop in just 5 seconds, and they're going to be off. So they go. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Off they go like a shot. So hot out of the gate as we would expect. 7.6 watts per kilogram, 9 watts per kilogram by Ray. You've got those power-ups that are being dropped. Looks like Scotty Weiss is in the mix, Team X. So I'm sure Casey Shum's in there. So looks like Kim Little has a nice alliance already, allegiance there, maybe fighting for him. And Ossenbrink might have some team players in there as well. We'll see how that shakes out. But those power-ups are being dropped right now. You can see the Arrow helmet there. You have to use them before you get to the first banner because you will lose them if you do not use them. So you can see off the front here, Ford, McKay, coming in, and yeah, it's going to be really exciting. You do see the Tron bikes lighting it up today. I know a lot of people have been using the Alp to get their Tron bikes. But rumor has it they might not be the fastest bike, but I'm not going to spread that. All right, we've got Kim Little there, Team X, and then the women's has also started. So on the women's side, we have a couple of matchups here in E. So in the A bracket, I'm sorry, we're still with the men. I thought we moved over to the women. My mistake. So we've got
haven't quite started yet, Beth.
Yeah. Okay. I was just so excited for them to start. Thanks, Frank. I know you're getting all of these views queued up for us. So when you're ready to join us, just chime right in. So here we go. We've got Casey Shum off the front. Now, Casey is a very seasoned rider. Most people who do ride in Zwift and race in Zwift are familiar with Casey's riding style, and it looks like he's out to support Kim Little today out here in the front. Austin Brink is on the front, 4 watts per kilogram. This group is going to be nice and tight. I don't think we're going to see them drop much below 4 for this entire race, which is 25.6 kilometers. So it'll be interesting to see if we get some attacks, if anyone's going to animate this race, which might happen when we get to the climb, right? They always happen on the climb, Frank. That's where they happen. But right now we are in the second week, the semifinals. And here is Madi Pakalny. He's in the B semifinals here, and he's facing off with, I had the name, it is Fung. So and there's, as we can see off the back of Kim Little, who has really done something cool with his stream. Now check that out.
Isn't that cool, Beth?
In front of his, is this the Frank surprise?
This is the Frank surprise. Kim might say it's the Kim surprise. So well. Kim did all the work, and last week he had this. He did a video behind him. And I was like, dude, we can so put you in the game now. And so he is demonstrating that to us at this point. And so I think it's really an exciting view. I mean, he's completely in the game. And I got freaked out the other day when we were testing. He stepped off his bike and walked away, and it just blew my mind. So it does sort of change how you think about it.
Well, because we are seeing the perspective when we go from the streams, we're seeing what they see. And so that's an alternate view that he could press. Like in the game, you could press view 4, 5, 6. So we're actually watching his game in the game, which is so cool. You can see that Scotty Weiss is out there. I think he's also out here supporting, and in Casey Shum. Now it'll be interesting to see Austin Brink. Does he have anybody in the game for him today, Frank? Do you know?
I don't know if he's got anyone supporting him, and it's going to be a hard day if he doesn't. It's a hard day against Kim, just being against Kim. So I think if he doesn't have any teammates, it could be a very, very long day indeed.
Yes, and here we are on board with Ava now. Anya, rather. I'm sorry. We have Anya and Ava facing off here in the A bracket here in the semifinals, and this is a matchup that I'm so excited to see. We have watched Ava all year. We've watched Anya all season long, and the two of them are so strong. So I think we're going to see quite a battle here. You can see that Ava Buckles is right off the front here, 5 watts per kilogram coming around. Didn't look like she had a power up to drop before the banner, but she's out in front. And you know, Anya's not going to let her get too far away. Well, it looks like she might be dropping. Oh, nope, she's up there as well. Anya leading the pack here. But you can see that the group is not too. There's Styler and Anchors and Igmo. Engmo, I said that wrong. PTZ, all in a little bit of group behind Anya. So week after week, we've seen these ladies battle it out, and this is going to be a good race. You can see in the bottom of the screen here in Ava, she's got the keep calm and pedal hard, and that's sort of been more than a mantra with her. I mean, you know, she always just looks like she's having a great time. She stays pretty relaxed. She's always working hard, and I don't know. What do you think is going to happen today between that matchup, Frank?
Well, I would have to say that Buchholz has a probably the upper hand. It's a little bit hard to say, but I know she's been training for Ironman, and so I think she's really in form as her Ironman comes up right here in the next week or two, I believe. And so I think she's going to be at peak form, and it's going to be tough to beat peak form today.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I love it when she sits up and I'm pretending she's texting me. I just checked my phone. I'm like, "What's up?" All right, so it looks like it's getting a little strung out here in the men's race. We've got Scotty Weiss, looks like attack off the front, 7 watts per kilogram, trying to pull away, but the group, Kim is right there, tucked in behind him, using that draft smartly. Ford behind him, Casey in the pack.
Yeah, and this, I have to say, this view is really awesome where we get to see both the forward and the backward view. Forget that it just is Ready Player One and it seems like Kim's really in the game. We really get a sense for what the race is, both fore and aft, as they would say. But as we look at the front view and the back view, we really get a sense that long line is out. It looks a little bit bunched in the front, but you get that sense, and as it all comes back together, I really like this view. It's something we're going to look to do more of. We see that Ossenbrink unfazed, maybe breathing a little bit hard though, a little huffing and puffing going on there.
Yeah, no, he is that little thump there, 6.2, right behind Kim Little, but definitely dropping down the watts. Doesn't look like he's on vacation and tucking behind Kim in any way, shape, or form there. These guys are still going pretty hard, and I think we're going to see the fight until the end. I don't think there's going to be any settling in. It'll be interesting. You can see Scotty Weiss kind of settling back in, but I think right when we were coming to this view, he might have done a little bit of attack, and hopefully I'm thinking he wanted to just get Ossenbrink a little bit tired, and Kim tucked in. So we'll see. We did see some of those numbers come up. All right, so back to the women here on board with Ava Buchholz. She's got a 20-second lead on Civ and Anchors and Styler that are together. She's looking pretty relaxed at 270 watts. So if you are new to watching Zwift, the upper left-hand corner of the game screen is the watts, and that's the trainer. That's what the power is being read from the trainer. You can see the RPMs, 86, 87 repetitions, how fast her legs are going, and then her heart response to all of that work that she's putting in is 175 beats per minute. That's not what I look like at 175 beats per minute. She looks pretty comfortable, pretty relaxed. And she's dropping down 4.5 watts per kilogram right now. So she is definitely in form. I will agree with you, Frank. She is in top form.
Yeah, and I think what you're seeing here is she's going awfully early, and you would think she might wait for some of the climbs and some of the other pieces of this, and it occurs to me that she is peaking, and this will be part of her peaking regime for Ironman. And so she's just going to go hard all out from the beginning. And this should be interesting to see if she fades. My guess is if you're training for Ironman, you don't fade in a 26-kilometer race. so I think it might be a tough day for Anya to catch on, but it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Well, it looks like Anya is only about 40 seconds back from that group in front of her. Look at her 30 seconds back. So if she looks like she's putting in more watts than the folks in front of her. So if she can maintain that, she can maybe catch up to that group and maybe they can work together and shut it down, because right now it's early enough in the race. She has a chance to close that minute down. All right, so coming out from the tunnel here, up, it was Monty Pakelny here, and Pakelny is our B bracket semifinalist, and he is going against Fung, and they're right neck and neck here. They are in the pack together. It's hard to see if Fung has anybody racing with him. So Pakelny, the Vision Rider, it looks like there might be another Vision Rider tucked in here. I can see the V. So he's maybe got some help, but maybe Fung has some help too. Try and see. Yeah, I see another one, John Inc. Yep, is that another one of Phillips Inc.? It looks like there are a few of them that might be working with him as well. Back on board with Kim Little, still jamming out at 4.5 watts per kilogram. Oh, look at him sending texts. What? We don't want to see that. Oh, there we go. 4.6 watts per kilogram T-Max here, right in the front, and Austin Brink with him. But I don't really see any attacks at it. You think we're going to see some on the hill, Frank? Is that when it's going to blow up?
Yeah, I think they probably set out to see if they could get away from Austin Brink on the flats. That didn't pan out. You got a lot of firepower here. You've got Scotty, who's going to be racing in Vancouver in just over a week and a half, June 23rd and 24th. And
yeah.
And so he's definitely wanting to peak as well. Going to go for over 10 grand to the winner. I think that the format suits Scotty pretty well. We've got some time trials, we've got some climbing, we got a lot of points on the flats, and so I think that will be very, very interesting as well.
And here is Austin Brink's view, and you can see him working pretty hard. Yeah, the racers that are going on to the World Cup in Vancouver, coming out and showing up for these races. I mean, this is key training for them. This is keeping their legs sharp, keeping the racing sharp. You can see our lineup here, the global zone winners, and the way that these folks got invited is they, in the A bracket, won their zone. So they had the best scores, 6 out of 8 races total. And these are the folks that are going to be going head to head in Vancouver. A little bit different stage, different type of racing this time. And here are the women global zone winners, and then a couple invited guest riders. And all of these women and men are very strong, but they're going to be racing a different format. So there are 2 days and 5 stages. And Frank, do you want to talk a little bit about the format here while we're kind of in a quiet spot of the race? The Vancouver surprise. Riders on the left-hand side of the screen, and you will notice that each point line represents a certain number of points and a multiplier. So throughout the race, you will be able to see where the point line is, what the points are worth, and be able to get points throughout the races. So it's not just going to be a flat-out race to the finish and whoever has the sprint wins. There's going to be a lot of strategy and tactics deployed, which I'm pretty excited to see play out. So you can see stage 3, and on the bottom left-hand side of the screen are the different stages and the points, number of point lines. But this interface is going to be really exciting to see. And of course, you'll be able to watch all of this on cycleview.tv from whether it's a league race or it's the CVR World Cup. Cycleview.tv has all of the racing action and the point of view of our riders. So here we are back on board with Kim Little, and he's at the front, 4.7 watts per kilogram. I don't know if he wants to be on the front of this, Frank. What's he doing? Shouldn't he let his teammates be in the front? What's going on?
I think Kim's feeling good today, and sometimes you want to get your legs warmed up before the climb. I know that one of the best ways to sort of subdue me is to actually go slow. And then that tends to mess up my sprint. I like to go a little bit harder towards the end. So that might be Kim just sort of getting all systems online for the big climb.
Yes, priming the legs, getting them ready for that effort. Oh wait, what happened? Casey Shum off the front there with a big attack, over 9 watts per kilogram, 10 watts per kilogram, and just opens up a little bit of a gap here. It looks like will Sparker chase him down? What about let's see, Kim's hanging back, and Casey is still laying down 5.2 watts per kilogram. Kim picks it up and says, I'll come with you, and then the rest of the pack also responds saying, nope, I'm not going to let this get away. We're going to shut this down. But he did make Austin Brink spend a little right there because he could not afford. Austin Brink knew Casey is working for Kim and did have to answer the call and did not let them get away. They did get 1 or 2 seconds on the rest of the pack. That'll probably close down. Some of them might fall off the back, but it looks like, we certainly have Scotty Weiss 2 seconds back. That's going to be easy for him to shut down. I wonder who he's going to take with him back into the front here. But as we round the corner, we're getting close to the climb. We're going to go into the subway a little bit and then hit the roundabout and start the climb. So that was a pretty smart place for an attack. Not much time for recovery before these guys have to hit the climb. And you can see Austin Brink here really working. He might be having a conversation with someone, or maybe that's just the way he expresses himself. Nope, he's not talking. He's breathing, which is an essential part of bike racing, is breathing. Casey Shum settles back in. Scotty Weiss right there. It looks like we did maybe one person, the Spocker, fell off the back a little bit, and the rest of them are still right together here in the climb. Looks like 8 of them together, 8 or 9 of them that are going to get the lead on the chase group behind them. So, all right, so we know Scotty's a climber. We know Kim can climb. We've seen them work together before on different climbs. What do you think we're going to see from Austin Brink here?
I think Austin Brink's just going to try and stay with Kim. That's what I would do. I wouldn't respond to any attacks. I wouldn't follow any attacks. I would just follow Kim. And try and mark him. Now, the difference is going to be, if you're the team and you're in the team car, what you're going to be trying to do is coordinate an attack where you all know you're going at the same time, and Austin Brink's not going to know, and so you're going to have sort of a bunch move out together that's going to be hard to catch, and that would be the tactic that you would typically use in Zwift here to try and dislodge Austin Brink in a head-to-head.
Right. So when the 3 of them, we're not on this. We're still on a flat. We're not hitting a steep climb. So if 3 of them do launch off together, there's a little bit of an aerodynamic effect still, and they can get away. So we are back on board with Ava here.
And we're going to show you something strange is occurring in the women's race. There's been a few issues with the Zwift event today, and it looks like they went in different directions. So that's why the times are a little bit off. So we'll look into that and talk with the officials about what's going to happen with regards to this race, and we'll get back with everyone. Now we're gonna head back to the men's race because they're starting the climb as well. Just kind of wanted to make everyone aware of that. Something is going on a bit odd there.
Right. Well, I was noticing when the times seemed okay, a minute back, that seemed kind of believable. But I was expecting them to be together longer and not to be separated so soon, except that, Ava did come out really strong. But here we are with Kim, 7.6 watts per kilogram, 7.2. He is just motoring up the mountain here, up the hill. 5% grade, upper right hand corner. You can see the gradient changing, and within the game, the people who are on smart trainers can actually feel the resistance change on their bike. So it is a hill in the game. Yes, you go slower, but the reason that you're going slower is because you're feeling that resistance, and you need more watts to move you because gravity is working against you, even in a virtual environment. So this is one of those. I really love, Frank, that view behind him where you can see the people coming, because it's sort of like when you watch a spooky movie and you're like, don't go in the woods, there's someone behind you. Like, it really gives you the sensation of the people chasing him. It's quite a great view. I'm digging it. All right, you can see what's in front of him. You can see what's behind him. You can see that Scotty's taking a turn up at the front along with Ford, and there's Austin Brink's view. Kim's popping around, seeing where his competition is. Looks like Austin Brink did get dropped about 30 seconds back right now. So whatever these guys did, they did do, I think, what you said, Frank, and they had a little coalition, and off they went. Now it looks like Casey has dropped back, and I wonder if he has made a decision here, because Austin Brink is 50 seconds back, and Casey's 24 seconds back. I wonder if he's going to go back and maybe help someone else in the B bracket. It looks like he's very much Casey's very softened his pace here from where he was. So Scotty right now at the front of this with Kim right behind him, and looks like they do have a comfortable. There's about 15 seconds on the chase group, and again a minute back from Austin Brink. He is that gap is opening up a little bit. So so it looks like their tactic has worked so far. So Austin Brink is going to have to do more. Looks like he's really softened, 1.8 watts per kilogram. So when we say that, when we look at the numbers underneath their name, it's the relative watts per kilogram of body weight, and that is determining the speed of the game. So the higher watts per kilogram, the faster you move. And it looks like Austin Brink, I can't ride. I can't read what his little text is, but it looks like Austin Brink is texting the group saying, and nice work, guys.
Yeah, and I think what happened is I think he dropped off.
Yeah.
So we saw in the helicopter views over here that he might have had a mechanical and someone was trying to help him out, and then he disappeared completely. So there may have been an issue there as well.
Gotcha. Well, that is, one of the things that, with gameplay and, when you're out on the roads, you can get a flat tire. Anything can happen. Your chain can drop. So the same thing can happen inside. Now look at Pakelny. Like, he has got some crazy video playing behind him, and he is in a jungle or wooded environment in a alternative Watopia. I feel like there's going to be it keeps changing. Star Wars. Nice work, Pakelny. Making it fun for us viewers. So Pakelny is a really awesome rider. He's laying it down at 4.8 watts per kilogram right now.
Who knew you could attack the Death Star and ride in a CVR race at the same time? Now that is some serious multitasking talent.
I know, the creativity is pretty amazing here. So his foe is Feng, and it looks like he is not with Pakelny. So it looks like he has got a little separation. I can't see how far back his competitor is, but it looks like he is got a little bit of a comfortable lead, because the closest person back I can see is Carvalho and Curtis, both a minute back, and Herbert. So unless he's in front, which I'm not seeing, I think that he is in a really good position to win this semifinal race. You can see there is just one lap. You can see in the upper part of the game screen that he's just got 6.6 miles to go. And, psychologically, you're more than halfway, and you are saying, how much can I hold to keep this gap? I never get comfortable with a gap, Frank. I can tell you that. It doesn't matter if it's 10 seconds or a minute and 10 seconds. I never feel like I can let up because anything can happen in the game.
Yeah, certainly, that's the case, and we've seen that with some mechanicals today, and we'll get the officials to sort of comment on the Buchholz-Luendorf issue here. We've had some issues with the events today, and I think actually the men might have gone the other direction. I know their countdown timer is working, so not sure. Might have been a time when they joined the event, so maybe Zwift made a change on the event because we had made them aware of an issue, but we'll check into that. I see that Austin Brink is back. at least I see him still in game. I don't see him streaming per se, but he's quite a ways off the back. So I think if he's had a mechanical, maybe it's only on the visual side as well. And I'm going to try and find Fung as well and just see exactly where he is out there in the group.
Okay, that sounds great. So Austin Brink, a little over 2 minutes back from the lead group. I did see that he was putting down over 5 watts per kilogram. So there was a moment there where he dropped down around 2, could have been addressing a mechanical, but he seemed to be bringing it back up. But it's not going to be enough when you have the likes of Kim Little and Scotty Weiss at the front here doing over 6 watts per kilogram on this 9% grade. So both Kim and Scotty are powerful. They're light and they're strong and they're teammates, and they are working together to get up this hill as fast as they can and put as much time between them and Austin Brink as they can. So Austin Brink is literally in an uphill battle to try to chase down Kim. But Kim is showing no sign of letting up. We've got Henderson in there. He's been racing week after week. He's got quite a strong sprint. So I think we'll see some fun stuff happen at the end of this race as well. So even within the head-to-head, all of these other folks are racing for position and are in it for training, are in it to win it. So we'll also, it'll be exciting to see this finish, because definitely we've seen some of these other riders in Zone E put down some pretty severe watts at the finish line. So that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, maybe it's just going to be the Scotty Kim show today. Team X, I think, has finally taken an aversion to me talking about some less than grand tactics as of late. Team X, normally known for their great team tactics, but it's been draft as of late, and I am a Team X member, in full disclosure, but I think they started to come out in force and really start to show what Team X is about. It's great to see them back fully in the saddle from the team perspective. They've always had a lot of strong riders riding as well, but I think they're starting to show that here. And I think Kim is just going to really work hard for the day. And I think we're going to go back and take a look. I'm waiting for a call from the officials on what to tell Eva and Anya with regards to what's going on. But we'll take a look at them real quick. As well, sort of going in opposite directions, and so they're both continuing to go hard, and we see a smile here, and so definitely I think she's peaking. Sometimes you get that smile, is what you hold when you're going a little bit harder. We see that in some individuals, but here today I think she's probably just feeling that good. There's nothing like peaking and getting ready for a big event, and just how good you feel in that period of time while you're peaking. You just feel semi-invincible, and it's really a great thing to feel.
Yeah, no, and I think that what a confidence builder. I have a feeling she's going to do this race, and then she's just going to ride for 3 more hours, take advantage of that fitness. And here is Anya still working really hard, 3.5, 3.6 watts, and they might actually it'll be interesting to see if they actually pass each other, how that would work here in game, because again the gaps are really deceiving because of the reverse, the opposite directions here. So it looks like in the top here of her screen too, it still says that she's got 25.9 kilometers to go. So has she?
Well, I think I can only guess at this point. Sort of heartbreaking in a sense, because they were absolutely going hard and looking to battle today. It's the A bracket. It's who gets a bid to Vancouver, who gets a shot at the finals next week. So I think probably still waiting on a call from the officials. But what I'm hearing is probably what we'll do is have maybe a little bit larger finals next week, maybe 3 women instead of head-to-head, so that we can be fair to both women next week. I think is probably the easiest call, and then instead of a head-to-head, we'll probably have 3 women competing for the bid next week. But anyway, no call on that just yet, but we will get a final call from the officials. You know how the officials are, always plodding along and slow. They never want to make a quick call on anything.
Well, they do like to think about things, and the chess checkers kind of idea, right? What seems obvious might not always be the right, or it might not be obvious. So give them the time to make the best decision that's fair to these racers who have shown up week after week, really have put all of their blood, sweat, and tears into this racing, and no one phones these races in. Everybody just busts it. They stream week after week, which is always so appreciated and really fun to watch. And they bring this power, and certainly want to make sure that there's fairness to them.
Yeah, and we have a couple of power couples. So we've got the Lewandorfs. And I think I pronounced her name wrong because someone spelled it wrong. The O and the R were switched in the back half of the name when I first saw it. So my mind sort of latches on to that. So if I'm ruining the name, I'll let you correct me, Beth. But they're one of the power couples in Zwift. So the Ossenbrinks, we saw Bjorn out today racing Kim. That's a tough draw. But we've got the Ossenbrinks, Scotty Weiss and Katrina Weiss, and
the
Buckholz, right? So there's a lot of this, power couple. I call them power couples, and I think that's really appropriate since they come out and put out a lot of power. But the other great thing about them, and what we really appreciate, is we get a lot of streaming from the power couples, and it just makes viewing the race is so much more engaging and so much more fun. So we just kind of wanted to, shout out and say we really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it does. Watching the real person is 1,000 times more interesting than the avatar, and and it's interesting too to watch the body language. I think that you identified a few things from my streams that I was like, oh, I got to remember to not do that, or because you start to see the expressions of the riders. But it's no different than if you were riding with a group of riders, and you got to know, if you're racing the same people over and over, you kind of get to know what their strengths are. You kind of get to know what they look like when they're fatigued. They might have a poker face, but you start to learn what the tell is. So it's exciting. And here on the backside of the hill.
Yeah, so I think the Team X guys are going to chase down Ford today. I think Team X is just itching to go fast, and it's fun to watch. You've got Scotty and Kim together here chasing down Ford as they head towards the finish, and I just love this view. I mean, I don't know why I like this view so much, and you see people turning as we go through the turns, and you see who's here, but definitely they're not slowing it down. They're keeping the pace high. And Scotty is definitely, putting out an effort here on the front as well. So, interesting to see who they'll try and get the win. Sometimes what you do is, Kim's going to win the head-to-head today, so he might actually just be helping Scotty to get the overall win and, get back to Ford here right at the end. They don't have much time left, however. So that's going to be, a real issue. And, this is really great with Kim. Actually, I just noticed he's in his kit, his Team X kit, and you see how well that...
His avatar.
His avatar. Well, that's actually Scotty's avatar wearing the kit as well, but or maybe it's his avatar. It's hard to tell, but it's a great match, right? in terms of, of the game. So that's just a lot of fun. We'll look, like I said, to do a little bit more of that. We'll talk to Madi about getting his game behind him too. I just think that gives like I said, a better view when you're watching, what's actually happening, in the race.
Yeah, and as I think about it too, in whether or not this would work or visually make sense, it might even look kind of cool if you made the person bigger and put them in the right-hand side of the screen and then made the other view smaller. So you would have, you know what I mean, if you switch the views, so then you actually get the person in the game even bigger on the right-hand side and then the other view. I don't know if that would work.
Kim just messaged
Right?
me and he said he is not liking you because you are creating more work for him.
Oh.
But that sounds like such a good idea that it's just something that we're going to have to try.
It's already built. It's just flipped. You just flip it. Isn't that easy? Don't you love it when non-technical people just kind of oversimplify things and say, yeah, no, why wouldn't you just swap the views? All right, here we are on board with Scotty Weiss in the helicopter view. You can see him in the front right there. They did catch Ford. So let's see what's going to happen here at the finish here. 5.4, 6.5 watts per kilogram. Making the pass. Ford might just be saying, it's all right. Oh, and then there he goes. 60. Is that 16 watts per kilogram? Do my eyes deceive me here?
That is 16 watts per kilogram. He is going to be hard to catch on that. So I won't even use the side view because, as I said, so that actually, and that's just some great teamwork. So I just have to say, that is how it is done. And so, kudos to Team X. So what you saw there is Scotty came out. He helped Kim move on to the next day. And then Kim, because that was secure, helped Scotty to win for the day. And that is ideal teamwork. It's brilliant to see that. Of course, Scotty had to execute it. So, congratulations to Scotty. Even though we expect a lot of Scotty, every win should be celebrated. Those are perfect. But that was fantastic teamwork. So really proud of the Team X guys today. And I think they're going to give draft a run for their money as we come through the next season. And I think draft probably has the upper hand in Vancouver because they've got more people there. But Scotty is a big powerhouse. So it'll be interesting to see how the points race plays as well there.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how that plays out and see what team tactics do come into it for the different stages, because it's not just the one banner at the end that matters. And it kind of hurts my head. I'm not gonna lie. The math is just, I was not a math major. I'm a video producer, Frank. So base 60.
Well, this is this is really interesting. So I think there's a couple of things with with the points. There's 16 point lines, 5 stages. It's going to be grueling. We've run some test things. We won't share any of that information, but what we can tell you is it's going to be grueling. It's going to be exciting. And it is going to require thought and tactics. We suspect that some people, probably will forget, what points are coming up. And there's, some really good displays in the UI that will keep everybody informed. But when you're racing hard, your mental acuity can deteriorate slightly. And I think that'll be, that'll play into what's happening in Vancouver. Also in Vancouver, I think it's really interesting because with 16 point lines, you can't go for the win at every line. That is pretty much a surefire way to not win overall. And so we're very interested to see what the different strategies will be. If you're a climber, on Sunday the climbing stages match in points with the flat stage. So if you're a sprinter, you have as many options, but you're going to also have to do well somewhere along the way on the climbing stages and vice versa. So we look forward to some really interesting battles. There'll be some super fast descents, as there's points lines at the bottom of the descents on the climbing stages after the KOMs. So lots of stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really exciting here. And here we are with Monty Pekelny in the final half a mile to go here. And it does look like he did leave Fung behind. So he will advance to the finals next week here in bracket B for our global zone winners. And you know, he looks pretty happy. He looks pretty happy. Right now, he's just saying, what am I going to do for my background next week? I don't know. Geez, I'm going to surprise Beth with something really super cool.
Well,
he's smiling. He might be listening.
here's the one thing I would have to say is that his video face matches his photo face up there in the right-hand corner, you know, really amazingly well at this point in a race. I don't ever look like my photo at the end of a race.
No, yeah, he does look like a Prince Charming, so maybe he'll give us. Oh, there he goes, digs in, sprints, brings it in. All right, even sprinting, and now he's got this Battlestar Galactica, Death Star, Star Wars. I don't know. I don't have Chris here to give me all the metaphors. I wasn't a Star Wars person, but there is.
Can he hold that to the line? Oh, it's gonna be so close. Oh, I think he did.
He does.
Oof,
he did.
Oof.
He did. Nice sprint with the explosion, perfectly timed with his background. He crushed that sprint and brought it. Nice job, Pekelny, on that race. So Pekelny will advance to the finals next week for the B bracket, and Kim Little for the A bracket for next week in the finals. And then at the end of next week, it's hard to believe, Frank. So next Tuesday, we have the finals in the postseason. And then that weekend is the finals. I mean, is CVR World Cup. It's like, it's here. It's here. I just can't. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. It comes on you fast and furious, right? I mean,
yeah.
And so our broadcast actually will be a little bit different next week. We'll be broadcasting out of our Europe studio, and also Casey will be doing his broadcasting as he normally does as well. But and that is because the studio here will be all packed up and shipped out to Vancouver and set up for the big show in Vancouver.
Well, it's going to be very exciting. And here again are the global zone winners for our CVR World Cup in Vancouver. The men right here, the qualifiers: Dempster, Phillips, Akibe, Wujasin, Gravdal, Young, Leo, Weiss, Cunningham, and Plujmers. So this is going to be an exciting matchup. And then on the women's side, Newsom, myself, Bering, Collins, Meisels, Wilkinson, Whitelaw, Kubata, Jennifer Reel, and Gillick. And so there's some new faces here.
Yeah, and
Wilkinson and Whitelaw. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've seen. I'll say this: we've got some very, very interesting some people with some, really, their Palomars is quite impressive. For instance, you've got Claudia, who's done quite well in triathlon. But is now focused more on cycling as of late. You've got Vicky Whitelaw, who represented Australia in 4 UCI World Championships, and then she took a little bit of a break, and then she found CVR World Cup, and she was like, "Hey, I'm a mother of 2. I have a small business, a lot of time constraints, but you know what? This allows me to race again," and she has been racing. Very strong. We look forward to seeing her in Vancouver as well.
Well, that's what's so nice about these truly elite level cyclists that are coming to CVR for all of those reasons you described. They're still racing outside, maybe in a different way than they did when they were, representing their country in a world championship. But here they are doing a world championship for esports, which is awfully exciting. So here, Ava's coming into the home stretch, just under 4 watts per kilogram, still smiling, 200 watts there, heart rate still 175. She's been pretty much pinned the whole time. She seems to just motor along at that 87 cadence, but she just looks really relaxed and comfortable. And so a little over a mile, I think she has kilometers there, so 1.7 kilometers I think here to go. She'll get across the bridge, make a left, and then she's pretty much home free. And we'll have to report back on what the officials are saying about the matchup here between Anya and Ava. As you can see that Anya might not know when to stop because she doesn't have a finish here because of the being in the reverse direction. So, but she's at 24.2 kilometers. The one lap was 25.6 kilometers. So hopefully that'll that counter will reset so she knows to call it a day, and we can get back to them both about what next week will be like.
I'm letting her husband know, Stefan, so that she knows to finish up the race today, and then we will confirm with the officials. But all indications are that we will have a 3-way race next week for the finals.
Great. Well, that will be awfully exciting to watch. Probably very difficult to coordinate, depending on the time zones. That's one of the other things too. In the regular season, it's you pick your zone and you race, and then there's a lot of cooperation that goes on between the racers as well as CVR, admin work of trying to coordinate all these racers. And I just want to say, that effort is no small task, and I know that bears a lot on Vanessa, who does a great job. So a little shout out to Vanessa for coordinating the postseason.
She does an outstanding job, and I think people still like her at the end of it, which is really, really good. Because sometimes
that's a skill.
That's an absolute skill, because you're getting people to sort of commit to a zone other than the one that they normally race in often. But what I'd also like to do is make a shout out to the great sportsmanship that is displayed by the riders in doing that coordination, and we really, really appreciate it.
Yes, that cooperation. Okay, so she just came under the banner, 25.8. So I would say that she would be, in terms of completing the distance, that she's completed the distance, at least from the standpoint of parity and advancing, they've done the same amount of race distance, even though they did do it in opposite directions. So the times would not be comparable. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. But a great day of racing, and we hope that everyone can watch some of the streams that are happening. Zone G this afternoon, we have Newsom and Mary Still that are happening. So lots of exciting stuff happening the rest of the day.
Absolutely. Thanks. And I will let you sign us off, Beth, because you actually know how to do that.
Well, I'll do my best. You just watched the E-Zone postseason semifinals. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Be sure to watch cycleview.tv for the rest of the streams for the other zones later on today. Au revoir.